Hi guys, Ancient Warrior. Welcome back to Prepping in Free America. If you like what you hear here, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be the first kid on your block to know what craziness I'm talking about next, hit the subscribe, hit the bell icon with all. Oh boy, where do I start? Well, folks, that question was asked to me the other night by a young man who wanted to know, where do we start on prepping? Him and his wife, now I'm going to give you a quick description of this guy. Him and his wife both have moderate incomes. Probably about, and I'm guesstimating, I don't know for a fact, probably about $25,000 apiece. He's the manager of a fast food joint, and she is she owns a small nail salon. I don't know if she's a manicurist or she does the ceramic nails or what she does for sure. Nice couple. Awfully nice couple. So, he'd seen one of my videos. And he's heard me, and I'm, folks, I don't mind telling you. I don't mind telling you that I do not always apply the smartest things in the world to my life. Because I talk prepping an awful lot. I'm trying to get people in my area to wake up. You see, folks, I see a lot of folks running up and down the road. And I ask one familiar question an awful lot, but I see a lot of people running up and down the road in cars that they have a car payment 3 times the size of my house payment. I talked to a young guy the other day, last night. I was asking him, just for the sake of knowledge, for this video. He's driving a new Camaro. It's I think it's an SS. I saw a badge on it and it was dark enough I had a hard time seeing it. He told me his car payment each month is $760 a month. Car payment. He has a $240 a month insurance bill. And I looked at him and I said, I saw the shirt he was wearing. I knew exactly where he worked. And I said, do you make that kind of money down at the grocery store? And he said, most of it. He said, my mom and dad helped me. That's great. Folks, we're on the verge of seeing hyperinflation starting. If you haven't been paying attention to the gas prices, I don't mind telling you, I drive a little Hyundai Santa Fe. It's 16 years old. And I can afford to buy a new car. I can't afford to make payments. I hate overpaying for things, and making car payments each month makes you overpay. So where do you start when you starting prepping? The first place you do is you sit down and you look at your expenditures, your house payment or apartment rental or house rent, whatever your living situation is. You look at your food cost, your car payment, your insurance for the house, the car, and for your body. Now, if you work for a pretty good sized company, most of them, for a minimal cost, gives you your health insurance. But the body insurance I'm talking about is life insurance. You don't want to, we live in uncertain times, folks. And in uncertain times, folks, I'm telling you, we had a deal a month ago here in where I live. 17-year-old girl was sitting in her car fixing to get out and go into the house. Somebody drove by and shot her. They caught the guy yesterday. Thank you, God, for small favors. It was just random shooting. So these are the things you need to put into play. Then you need to look at what do you need. Now, the couple I started talking about, I know that where they live and everything, his house payment, he got the house from his grandmother. The house payment isn't a whole lot more than mine. So he's good there. And he doesn't have to worry about the banker coming in and taking his house from him because his grandmother's the banker. So that's where you start. You make a plan. See, when I was a sales manager, I used to work for a big company as sales manager. I spent over 20 years doing that. I worked my way up from being a sales rep to a by district sales manager and then director. My job was to get results. Now, let's talk about what results. One of the first things when I was teaching young men and women to sell, to be a salesman, is I told them, there's a little saying I have, and I know you've heard it before. Failing to plan is planning to fail. I'll say that again. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Why am I saying that? Well, number one, I'm saying that due to the fact that so many people fail to plan. You know, do you know what caused the toilet paper and paper towel and cleaning supply shortages of 2020? It was people failing to plan what they needed. You know, I have enough stuff in this little shed, paper goods, to last me 3 years. Now, I have people who think I'm nutty as a fruitcake. That's fine. Let them think I'm nutty as a fruitcake. I don't care. I don't care what most people think. So, planning this stuff out is a necessity. Now, we're going to sit down in a future video. It'll probably happen next week because I've got several videos I've got to get ahead of it. And we're going to talk about caloric intake. What you need, what you don't need. And we're going to break it down to groups of people. We're going to break it down to children, kids and working adults, and then seniors. I fall in the last category. Then we're going to sit down after we do caloric intake, and we're going to talk about how to do certain things. We're going to package up. We're going to package up dried potatoes, hash browns, into a 5-gallon bucket. We're going to package up beans, rice, the whole shooting match. We're going to do it all. Then when we're done, you'll have a better idea of what to do. Now, folks, let me suggest something to you. If you don't eat beans and rice, don't buy beans and rice. Buy what you do eat, what your family eats. Now, I eat beans and rice. I like beans, potatoes, and cornbread. I grew up that way. I was from a real poor family, and I didn't know how lucky I was to have the beans, potatoes, and cornbread. I thought that was poor people food. Hell, I'm starting to realize the older I get, that's a rich man's meal. Even rich people don't get to eat that well. Big chunk of bacon in it, you know, beans, potatoes, cornbread with a little sweet relish or chow chow. A few of you know what I'm talking about. But guys, plan every step. If you're driving a car that $5,000 or $6,000 will fix a problem, fix it. Because I've heard this comment too. I drive a 16-year-old Hyundai Santa Fe. The paint is flaking off. I go down the road and people say, I saw something flutter from your car. Yeah, it's probably the clear coat. I don't care. Folks, it's ugly. And guess what? Nobody pays attention to it. Most of the time. Do repairs. Keep good tires. Make damn sure your gas tank is half a tank or full. Don't let it go below. Because, as you're seeing, since the first of the year here in the Texas Panhandle, and I've got a refinery 63 miles from me, from my front door to their front door, 63 miles, and gas is shooting up. A barrel of oil on Friday was at $71 a barrel. Now, there are things I want you to pay attention to. Pay attention to the stock market. Pay attention to the price of oil. If the stock market starts falling, that's not a big worry. That's not a big whoop-de-doo. If the price of oil starts falling, that's not a big whoop-de-doo. That happens. Those things go on every day. Now, if the stock market prices start tumbling, you see the price of a barrel of oil tumbling, that's time to start getting your kit together, because something's going to happen. In 07, 08, a lot of you are old enough to remember the Depression of 08. And we're going to talk about depressions, folks, because a lot of you relate to one depression, the 1929 stock crash. We're going to talk about a few more that's happened before then and after. Blue heelers out here and the chihuahuas here both guarding me. They're watching the bird out here on the ground. So when you hear the little click click on the floor, that's them. Now, folks, you want to get things together. You want to get your food stores together. You want to get your water stores. Now, you also, when I say water stores, that means a way to sanitize and turn it from dirty water into drinking water. If you can afford an AquaPure or a Berkey filter system, please buy them. You don't have to put them together today. All you have to do is open them up, make sure all the parts are there, and then put it in your shed or in your closet and hide it away. Make sure that you have bottles. I've got 4 or 5 filter bottles. Yep, wrong thing. Well, I guess I moved it. Yeah, I did. It's right here. Now, folks, this is an AquaPure filter system. I can put dirty water in here and be able to drink it. We're going to talk, that's one of the things we're going to talk about in the future. Now, have a way to clean water up. You need to have a background. You need to have a background with basic medical needs in mind. You need to know how to stop a gushing wound, when and how to use a tourniquet, when and how to use this blood clotting agents that they're selling a lot of lately. You've got to know all this. One of the best ways, if you can find an old Boy Scout manual from the 60s, 70s, even early 80s, it'll give you a lot of help. Then you have to have some way to protect it. One of the best protections you can do, keep your mouth shut. Don't tell people what you're doing. Now, in my case, Mr. Colt is an equalizer. I live in the great free state of Texas, so we're allowed to have firearms. Would I shoot a hungry person coming to my door? No. Would I shoot a marauder? You better believe it. So if you're thinking that preppers in Texas and Oklahoma and these states that can own guns, if you think they're just another form of a grocery store for you, you better think twice. Because you don't know what their level of training is, and you don't know who you're going to be dealing with. Then, you've covered all your bases there. You've got backup stores. You've got food. Then, folks, start looking for a place to go, to get out of the city. You know, I'm a big fan of Pastor Joe Fox from Viking Preparedness. And he has this little saying. He says, "Come out of her, my people." It's from the Bible. Folks, come out of her. Because the cities will become if things go as south as I think they're going to and could, then we're going to have problems. So, with that being said, remember, you are a free American if you're prepping. With that being said, it's better to have this stuff and not need it than need it and not have it. I'm the Ancient Warrior, and we're out.